Hello, Mark. My name is Tinson. My student number is 56. I'm a freshman. Michelle Sullivan. Asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. We all have milestones in life that we remember so vividly. The first one for me was when I was entering kindergarten. My big brother was in school, and by golly, it was my turn, and I went trotting down that hallway. I was so excited, I almost wet myself, and I go to the door, and there was the teacher with a warm welcome. And she took me into the classroom, showed me my little cubicle. We all remember those little cubicles, don't we? And we put our stuff in there. And then she said, go over to the circle and play with the kid until class starts. So I went over 3 and propped down like I own the place. And I'm playing. And all of a sudden, the boy next to me, he was wearing a white shirt with the blue shirt. I remember it like it was yesterday. Suddenly, he stopped playing and he said, why are you so short? And I just keep playing. I didn't think he was talking to me. Laughter. And in a louder voice, he said, hey, why are you so short? So I looked up and I say, what are you talking about? Let's just play. We are happy. We have been waiting for this. And so we played, and about a minute later, the girl next to him in her white shirt and a pink skirt stood up, put her hand on his hip, and said, yeah, why do you look so different? And I went, what are you talking about? I don't look different. I'm not short. Again, let's just play. About this time, I looked around the circle I was in, and all the kids had stopped playing and they were all looking at me. And I'm thinking, in today's language, it would be OMG or WTF. Laughter. What just happened? So all the confidence that I went in with that morning was whizzing away as the morning went up and the question kept coming. And at the end of the morning, before I went home, the teacher had us in a circle, and I actually found myself outside the circle. I couldn't look at anybody. I could not understand what just happened. And over the next few years, I had to go out in public. I feel very stare, every giggle, every pointed finger, not the finger, but every pointed finger, and I had it. It was hide behind my parents' legs, like nobody could see me. And as a child, you can understand another child's curiosity, no an adult's ignorance. It became very apparent to me that the real world was not built for someone of my size, both literally and figuratively. And so I have no anonymities, as you can probably tell. And while you see my side, we all go through many challenges through our lifetime, and some you can see, like mine. Most you can tell if someone dealing with a mental illness, or they are struggling with their gender identity, they are caring for an aged parent, they are having financial difficulty. You can see that kind of stuff. So while you can see one of my challenges is my size, seeing does not mean you understand what is truly to be me on a daily basis, or what I go through. And so I'm here to debunk a myth. I do not believe you can walk in someone else's shoes, and because of that, you just adopt a new way of giving of ourselves. Simply stated, I will never know what it's like to be you, and you will never know what it's like to be me. I cannot face your fear or chase your dream, and you can do that for me. but we can be supportive of each other. Instead of trying to walk in each other's shoes, we must adopt a new way of giving of ourselves. I learned at an early age that I did have to do something different than most people, but I also learned there was things I was on equal footing with, and one of those was the classroom. Hey, I was equal. As a matter of fact, I excelled in the classroom. This was vitally important. I discovered as I grew older and realized I wasn't going to be able to do a physical job. I needed an education, so I went on and got a university degree. But I feel to be one step ahead of everyone for improvement. I needed to have an advanced university degree, so I went ahead and got that. Now I'm ready for my interview. Remember your first interview? What am I going to wear? What questions? And don't forget the first handshake. I was right there with you. So 24 hours before my interview, a friend of mine who would know of all my life called and he say, Michelle, the building you are going in has steps. And she know I couldn't climb steps, so suddenly my focus changed. In my shoes, I was worried about what am I going to get there. So I went early and found a loading dock and got in and have a great interview. They have no idea what I went through for the day, and that's okay. You are probably thinking my greatest challenge that day was the interview or getting in the building. In reality, my biggest challenge that day was getting through the loading dock without getting run over. I am very vulnerable in certain situations: airports, hallways, parking lots, loading docks. And so I have to be very careful. I have to anticipate and be flexible and move as quickly as I can sometimes. So I got a job, and in my current role, I travel quite a bit. And travel is a challenge for all of us these days. And so you probably get to the airport, run through security, get to the gate. Did I get my aisle seat or window seat? Did I get my upgrade? Me, first of all, I don't run through anything. Laughter. And I especially don't run through the TSA because I get to experience the personal pat-down. I won't comment on that. And then I make my way to the gate. And with my gift of gab that my parents said I was born with, I talk to the gate agent, and then I say, by the way, my scooter weighs this much. I have a dry cell battery, and I can drive it down to the door of the plane. Also, the day before, I have called the city where I traveling to find out where I could rent a scooter in case mine get broken on the way. So in my shoe is a little bit different. When I get onto the plane, I use my gift of gab and ask the lady to put my bag up, and they gradually do. And they gradually do. I try not to eat or drink on the plane because I don't want to have to get up and walk on the plane. But nature has its own schedule. And not long ago, it's not an answer, and I answered. So I walked up to the front of the plane and gaped with the flight attendant and said, "Can you watch the door? I can reach the lock." So I'm in here doing my business, and the door flies open, and there's a gentleman there with a look of horror on his face. I'm sure I have the same look. And as I came out, I noticed that he was sitting right across from me, and he's in total, complete embarrassment. So I walked up to him and I quietly go. Are you going to remember this as much as I am? Laughter. And as she goes, I think so. Laughter. Now, while she's probably not talking about it publicly, I am. Laughter. But we talked for the rest of the flight, and we got to know each other, our family, sport, work, and when I landed, he said, Michelle, I noticed someone put your bag up. Can I get that for you? And I said, of course, thank you. And he wished each other well, and the most important thing that day was that he was not going to live with that embarrassment. That experience of embarrassment, we won't forget it, and neither will I. But I think he will remember more our chat and our different perspectives. When you travel internationally, it can be even more challenging in certain ways. A few years ago, I was in Zanzibar, and I came wheeling in and think about that short, white, broad woman in a chair. That doesn't probably happen every day, so I go up and I with my gift of gap. I start to talk to the agent. So friendly, I asked about their culture and so forth. And I noticed there wasn't a jet bridge. So I have to kind of say, not only do you have to lift my chair, I could see someone help getting up the steps. So I got to spend about an hour together while he waited for the flight, and it was the most magnificent hour. Our perspective changed for both of us that day. And once I got on the flight, he patted me on the back and wished me well. And I thanked him so much. And again, I think he's going to remember that experience more than when I first came in. And there was a bit of hesitation. And as you notice, I get a lot of help. I would not be where I am today. If it was not for my family, my friend, my colleague, and the many strangers that help me every single day of my life. And it's important that we all have the support system. Asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Applause. We all need help throughout our lifetime, but it is just as important that we are part of other people's support systems. We must adopt that way of giving back. We all obviously we have a role to play in our own successes. But think about the role we have to play in other people's successes, just like people do for me every single day. It's vitally important that we help each other because society is increasingly place people in silos based on biases in ideologies. And we must look past the fact and be confronted with the truth that none of us are what you can see. There's more to us than that. We are all dealing with things that you can see. So living a life free of judgment allows all of us to share those experiences together and have a totally different perspective, just like the couple of people I mentioned early in my stories. So remember, the only shoes you truly can walk in are your own. I cannot walk in yours. I know you can walk in my side ears. I know you can walk in my side once. Laughter, but you can try. But you can do something better than that. With compassion, courage, and understanding, we can walk side by side and support one another. I think about how society can change if we all do that instead of judging on only what you can see. thank you applause. Thank you.